suppressed listings, and the hurdles of selling face masks on Amazon. Let's talk about it. Hey, this is Rochelle and welcome to Multiple Passive Streams of Income. If you need to find specific topics in my videos, just check the timeline in the description below so you can skip to the part of the video you need. So we're going to first talk about suppressed listings. And product listings are often suppressed for no images or bad main images. Words in a main image or not having a white enough background could get your listing suppressed. The good thing is once you fix the image problem, your listing will go live again fairly quickly. The other day I was helping a friend create her listing. The product she plans to sell is in the clothing category and the product has 3 size variations. Weeks prior, we had created a parent listing with 3 size variations so we could create the shipping plan. Now, at that time, we made a skeleton listing and it just consisted of 1 image that the supplier gave us, a basic title, some minimal bullet points, and the plan is to optimize the listing once we receive the professional product images and we can do the proper search term and keyword research. Now, after we received the product images from the photographer, we uploaded them, which I thought was the reason the listings were suppressed initially, but that turned out not to be the case. On the Vital tab was an exclamation point, and the highlighted error fields were the color and color map fields. The picture on the screen doesn't reflect the color fields that I encountered, but those were the fields that were highlighted on my Vital tab, and that seemed to be creating the issue. So I entered the color of the product, and the fields continued to error. No matter what I put in the color field, the error wouldn't stop. So I called Seller Central, and one rep tells me I have to wait 24 hours for the images to take before this error could be cleared out. Now, I knew the problem wouldn't erase in 24 hours, but I waited 24 hours, and obviously the error didn't resolve itself. So I then called back the next day and requested to speak to a representative in the catalog department. I'm thinking maybe a representative there can give me better advice. So the rep tells me when the listing was created, something went wrong and the color is not in the back end of the listing. So I need to delete the listing and wait 24 hours and then recreate the listing again. Of course, I'm reluctant to do this because I have inventory on the way to Amazon and I don't want the shipment to be delayed or confused by deleting the original listing. So the rep tells me to write down the SKU of each variation and use the SKU info when recreating the listing. And that will ensure that there'll be no problems when the inventory arrives at Amazon. So I delete the original listing, I wait the 24 hours, I try to create the listing again, and at a certain point the system signals that it recognizes one of the variations of the product, and it asks me if this is the same product. When I clicked yes, the system took me to the shipping plan and didn't allow me to complete the listing. In fact, on this attempt, the system created a solo listing for that recognized variation, which is not what I wanted to do. So I called Seller Central again. The rep is trying to step me through creating the listing with variations. And one of the new changes now is that if you're not brand registered with Amazon, you'll get an error if you use your Amazon store name as the brand. When I started my products over a year ago, that was how you created a listing. You put the store name as the brand. But since that doesn't work anymore, the rep tells me I have to use the word generic for the brand name. And by the way, you can also use the word unused. That will work as well. So as I'm trying to create the listing, errors were occurring and the recreated listing was suppressed again. This rep was just totally useless, and I was just so frustrated I just ended the call. So I decided, let me just delete the solo listing that was accidentally created. Let me keep trying to create this listing like I know how to. And one of the reasons why it wasn't working when I first tried this attempt to create this listing was that I was putting the SKU from the parent listing, I was inserting that, and that was causing a problem. So in order to recreate this new listing, I had to keep the parent SKU blank. I also used unused as the brand name, and I used the variation SKUs to create the variation listings, and it did take. And I do believe that since the variation SKUs are the same, there'll be no problems with the inventory that's already on its way to Amazon. Doing it this way, the listing did create a new parent SKU, so it's different from the original listing, but I don't think it'll cause any problems because I think the warehouse will be looking for the variation SKU, and the parent SKU probably doesn't matter at all. Well, at least that's what I hope happens. So I'm back to square one again though. Even though I'm able to create this listing, the 3 variation listings are still suppressed. So now I'm extremely frustrated, irritated at this point. I call Seller Central back again. I tell a rep the entire chain of events, probably took me like 2 minutes like now to tell you. And she simply says, click the suppressed hyperlink. Now in all the other attempts to fix this issue, I had clicked the edit button, and that's where I saw the red exclamation point on the vital tab, and I saw the color fields highlighted, which was indicating that was the issue. So I clicked the actual hyperlink that is labeled suppressed. There was a pop-up box asking me for the color and the color map. I entered the info, saved it, and immediately the status changed from suppressed to inactive out of stock. Incredible. 3 reps before her had no clue, and I probably spent a total of like 2 hours with these 3 reps and still didn't have a fix. And this one rep tells me one simple thing and it's fixed instantaneously. What a relief. So let's move on to an update on selling face masks on Amazon. Now, this category is really highly scrutinized by Amazon. Even when it seems you have surpassed all the obstacles, it seems this category is always on Amazon's radar, which we can understand why. So a week ago, my sister, who's selling differentiated face masks on Amazon, had another Amazon situation pop up. So to recap, she avoided some scrutiny by listing her face mask as a costume clothing item versus a safety household product. She also is doing FBM, which is fulfilled by merchant, versus FBA, which is fulfilled by Amazon. So she is shipping the face mask directly to the customer. She also decided to mail her face mask with a stamp versus paying her postage through Seller Central, which is a lot more expensive because it's creating the shipment with tracking information. So you can do mailings with stamps when the product is light enough, and please check that rule before attempting to do so. Now, obviously, mailing by a stamp is increasing her margins, and this is the reason why she's doing it this way. But remember, if the package gets lost, you will have to replace it. And if the postal service misplaces it, you have no recourse against them. Also be mindful, there is an Amazon metric that basically measures how fast you mail out packages. And obviously, if there's any complaints if a customer doesn't get a package. So going this route even though you're saving money and your margins are going to increase, it may turn out to be bad for your Amazon metric if you have too many misplaced packages or packages that don't get to the customer. So keep that in mind also. So now the latest face mask scrutiny is Amazon is removing the listing and then asking for additional information. I have the exact Amazon wording posted on the screen, and you can pause this video to read it. But when selling private label products, most sellers will not be able to provide this information. So unless you have extensive experience, face masks may be a product you need to avoid. I wanted to do a PPC video this week, but PPC isn't working well right now for my new product. So I'm trying to figure out what I can do PPC-wise to improve this situation. So I hope to have some helpful PPC content soon. If anyone has any experience with this type of situations, with suppressed listings, with selling face masks on Amazon, or any highly scrutinized product on Amazon, please share your experience in the comments and I will shout you out in a future video. As always, thanks for your time, as I know you could be any other place right now. Take care.